Hey everybody, Nima Dog Bandon here with Lightning Docs, and I have the great pleasure of having Briana Hildt with
Cardinal Capital Group.
So Briana, we've known each other for a long time now.
We have.
And you've built quite an impressive business. So why don't you tell me a little bit about, first, yourself and kind of your background?
Yeah, so Cardinal Capital Group, obviously, is a Boston-based private lending firm. I started here in California. I'm originally from Massachusetts. I grew back there. There was a larger need for private lending out there. And things kind of took off from there. We're now the #1 private lender in all of Boston, approaching the Northeast. So things have been really good.
And that's an incredible story. So I mean, you've really, and I think I've had the pleasure of being able to work kind of alongside you and watch this story unravel. And it's incredible because you've really, how did you do this? What was the strategy that you employed to really kind of take over a captive market? Because I've seen, there's massive companies that are trying to do what you did, and you're eating their lunch, right?
Yeah.
Why are you doing? What do you attribute this to?
I think it's a few things. I think that Massachusetts is the Northeast is you're either here from here or you're not.
You get us or you don't.
Yeah. And I'm sure it was a bit the accent I can turn on when I want to. And, they weren't as impressed with some California lender trying to approach into their market. They had the mindset of like something must be wrong if you're coming here. So I saw there was this big gaping hole there, and I think I had a different approach. I really kind of befriended a lot of the clients and made them know that they could trust me, and really built off of that. I really built off of some of the strategic partners I had. Boston is an attorney state, so I really kind of leveraged some of those relationships with referrals and things like that. Right. And I think unlike everybody else who was just raising a bunch of money and then finding any originator that could make 100 calls a day, my approach was relationships first,
right,
and then kind of pivot off of that. And I think, you probably know better than me, but I think I am one of the only female-owned private lenders in the country. So I just had a different approach, and that was really relationship-focused.
That makes so much sense. And so walk me through, kind of Cardinal Capital and its genesis and kind of tell me the story of Cardinal Capital.
So I was a broker, there was many pros and cons with that, right? A lot of these names here I worked with, and I kind of had this notepad and just wrote down, this works, this is great, this is terrible. Clients like this, clients don't like that. And so then I really just studied kind of what was the best approach.
Sure. And
I really just wanted to have as I mentioned earlier, my family, I have 2 business partners who are brothers. We have a family-based company. We treat our clients like that. They can get a hold of us at any time, but we're institutionally backed, and we can operate in a way where we can take you from doing $2 million a year to $200 million a year if you really wanted to. So I think that after a while, I got sick and tired of being a broker. I realized that I could bring something different to the table, and that's really kind of how it started. And somebody told me I couldn't do it, and I just said, well, hold my drink, I guess.
And it's interesting too, because it's really, when I'm hearing you talk right now, it's the retail experience, but the institutional finance, right? That's 100%. Really kind of the marriage you've put together there, and to be able to provide that, which is because you kind of tend to get one or the other, which is a really great customer experience, right? Or you get this really intense back office. Yes, we have the money, but we make the money very difficult for you to obtain, and so you've kind of figured out how to crack that nut there to figure out how to do that.
I was almost forced to be honest with you, because I had built the retail book up so high that I was in a place where I either needed to hit the lottery or work with institutional money quite quickly. So I had to kind of teeter the line of those two things, but it taught me a skill set that I think was very valuable. And
so now, what are the things that you're most excited for your company, and where you're headed? I mean, give me an idea of what really moves your needle today.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me now, I'm excited about breaking into some new markets. We've definitely maintained and we always put our main markets, kind of as a priority.
Sure.
But other than that, now we're taking that approach and breaking into about 3 or 4 different states as of right now. That took me a minute because as you know, I like to walk before I crawl, or crawl before I walk, before I run, kind of a thing.
Right.
So for me, now we have this recipe that works.
Yes.
And I feel like now we can take
Yes.
it into these other markets. And so that's really exciting for me because
so you created this blueprint, this
Yes.
roadmap, and you're like,
Yes.
now it's time to
Yes.
execute and take this on a grander scale and a grander vision.
Exactly. Yes.
I'm so excited
That
for
I'm
you.
very excited about.
That's amazing.
And luckily I have the lightning docs and you guys to teach me all the compliance laws I need to know. So I feel very safe.
And so yeah, so I mean, you chose to partner with Lightning Docs on that. Why? I mean, there's plenty of other options out there in the world. Why did you choose Lightning Docs?
I mean, for me, and I'm sure a lot of people don't know this, but my relationship with Jurassic honestly was one of the biggest things. Like I was at your first conference, I watched you guys grow. You gave me a level of detail and attention that I didn't get in other places. And I get asked that question a lot. Why aren't you just working with some local, Boston attorney? They usually are used to drafting the commercial docs.
That's right.
But I'm so process focused.
Right.
And I know the diligence you guys do with your docs and compliance laws, and I know if something were to change, you would pick up the phone and call me.
That's right.
So I guess I slept better at night. I do sleep better at night knowing I have you guys as a backing, and also too, it's controlling the controllables, right?
Yes.
You're waiting for some other attorney to give me the docs. That I can't tell you with all the old firms I used to work with, how much that held things up.
Yes.
Having one of my processors be able to go in and just plug and play in the information that you guys are telling them to plug and play in,
Right.
and then having kind of a double check process of our own,
Right.
really, really has helped tremendously.
Right. It sounds like it's giving you the foundations for scale, basically.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you
Of
for taking your
course.
time today.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
it's so awesome to catch up with you, Briana.
Same too.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.